Good morning. Happy Saturday, everybody. Actually, it's not morning anymore, not even where I am. So good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Cosmic Download. My name is Jace. This is Cosmic Origins. We are back outside in the beautiful nature today because I woke up pretty late today because, well, I heard when I woke up this morning that there was a pretty large CME last night, and I was pretty awake last night at like 1 o'clock in the morning, just like buzzing wide awake, which is not normal for me. And I had a feeling that there was some space weather or something going on. And then this morning when I woke up and talked to Alexis, she said there was a big CME sometime in the past 12 hours, and it probably happened sometime around, midnight or, early in the morning when I was feeling it. So it just goes to show you that like our minds and our bodies and our spirits, mind, body, spirit, is really tapped into the cycles of the earth and the sun and the planets. And don't doubt yourself when you feel something and you start to, question what it might be. In this case, like feeling something different. And in my case, a lot of energy. And I was like, this feels space weather related. So I know people get all sorts of different symptoms from these kind of CMEs and solar flares and galactic energy and the magnetics of the planet. It affects us all differently depending on where we're at in our personal journeys and our healing paths. And for some people it can make them really tired and really exhausted, which I've felt. And for other people, or even for the same person in different circumstances, in one case you may feel really tired, in another case you may feel really energized. So anyway, just thought I'd start with that. That's why we're getting a kind of a late start to this, and I'm not in the studio today. So this is going to be the last episode before our gathering next week. So, woo! For everyone coming to the gathering, let's see who's in the chat. Angelito's going to be there. What's up, dude? Hey, Tobias. Hey, Woke One. Hey, Joyful Diamonds. Hey, Becca. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you guys. What's up, human beings? What's up, Cheshire? Cheshire's going to be at the gathering. She and her partner Joel are going to be putting on part of our opening ceremonies, doing an amazing sound healing ceremony. If you guys have never experienced a sound bath before, which is really crazy to me that some people haven't, but I guess living in Sedona, maybe we're a little bit spoiled with the amount of exposure of this kind of stuff. But I've talked to a lot of people who have never had a sound bath or who don't even know what one is. So I'm really excited to have those people get to experience this for the first time. And it's going to be the way that we really set the energy for the event. It's going to be the first thing we do as a group. We're going to experience this beautiful sound healing ceremony together that Sedona Sound Healing Tribe is going to be putting on. And again, this is for the event that we're hosting coming up this next weekend, 1 week in Sedona, the Family of Light Gathering. If you haven't heard about it, you probably have if you're here. Link in the description. Everything is still on sale, 10% off 3-day passes, 10% off live stream passes. So definitely jump on that. Oh, Sarah, you're the one that got a ticket recently. Awesome. I saw that. Congrats. I'm glad you're going to be there. What's up, Wild? Good to see you too, man. Hey, External Theory. What's up, Fearless? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, so I almost didn't do this live, but I was like, yeah, might as well just jump on and we'll just talk about whatever. So the few things that I thought I'd put in the title that came to mind, crypto related, are related to Flare and XRP. We can get into that in a second. But mostly we just want to hang out and chat, answer any questions about the gathering. For those of you that are attending or thinking about attending. And if you're far away like Fearless, all the way on the other side of the world, that's what the live streams are for. So hopefully you guys can join us in the live streams. And that's going to be, Alexis is going to be hosting that and running that. She's going to be front and center in the room, hosting the live stream. We're going to get the dance party on there to the best of our ability and show you some of the vending space if we can, and maybe some of the red rocks and stuff too here, so you don't totally miss out on the beautiful scenery of Sedona. So, live stream deets. The details are in, so if you go to the link in the description, should be in there, familyoflight.info. and then you just go to passes at the top. It'll take you to where you can get the live stream pass, and the live stream pass is, I believe it was normally $111 and it's 10% off for $99 right now. So that's 3 days, $99 USD, around 8 hours a day, some more than that. So lots of material, and there will be playback available afterwards for those that have been asking about that. It's going to take place over Zoom, and Zoom has this awesome feature that lets you do cloud recording, and then we're going to be able to just share that link to the cloud recording with everyone who was in the call, or if you weren't in the call, you'll be able to get it too. So if you want to come but you can't say make it live, then no worries, that'll be available for playback for an extended period of time, indefinitely after the conference, and then we may even, you know, take things a step further and maybe do some editing from there. But at the very least, you'll get the full live stream playback through Zoom, which is awesome. Awesome for Zoom. Angelito, we should do a Native American style Sundance while we're there. Have you been to Sundance? I've never been to a Sundance, but I know many people who have, and it sounds like quite the experience. So yeah, the other thing about the conference that I'll mention now is that there are meal tickets available now. So we didn't quite announce this before because we weren't sure how it was going to work out, but we actually got it all worked out now. So my friend Mario, who runs this amazing company called Starseed Salsa, he literally makes superfood salsa for Starseeds. It's they've got like all the superfood mushrooms and herbs like ashwagandha, and you know, mushrooms like lion's mane and turkey tail and cilantro, and like tons of super healing, awesome superfood herbs. And yeah, you do want to order some of his salsa, Schumann. It's like literally you can eat it as a meal. It's the best salsa I've ever had. I was just eating it by the jarful, like with a spoon. So he's gonna have some of that there, but he's also gonna be making our meals. So he's gonna make us, I believe, a organic vegan Mexican dish on Saturday for lunch, and it's gonna be tacos and taquitos vegan. And then Sunday, I think he's gonna be making us a vegan curry with fresh herbs and like pumpkin seeds and stuff. And then that's the plan for now. We'll see what else from there. And those meals are going to be $11 a meal, which is a good incentive to basically stick around at the conference, because in Sedona it's kind of hard to find a meal under like $15. It is kind of pricier out here, so we're offering these meals at a cheaper price so that you guys don't have to go out into town and you don't have to leave the venue and all that. You just stick around. So we're going to have 3 rooms at this event. We're going to have the main great room, which is where all the speakers are going to be speaking. It's where all the music is going to be happening at night. It's where the sound ceremony, healings are happening. This is the main tribe gathering spot, is in the great room. And then we're going to have the Sedona room, which is, you know, very fitting. It's connected to the great room, and that's where the vendors are going to be. And it's just kind of adjacent to it. You can access it from indoors. And that room is going to have our vendors. Right now we've got like 11 or so different tables of vendors, so it's going to be pretty full in there, which is awesome. I think we maybe have room for like 1 or 2 more vending spots. If there's anyone out there that still wants to squeeze in, we could probably make that work, but it's getting pretty packed. And so the vendors are going to be there, and then connected to the vending space is the eating space, the dining room, and that's connected to the kitchen. It's a commercial kitchen and everything. That's where Mario's going to be cooking up the delicious stuff. And so we'll have basically a 2-hour break every day in the middle of the day where there's no speakers going. We get to take a break. We get to, you know, leave that main room and go hang out outside in the courtyard, look at the red rocks if the weather's good. It's possible that we could be having some monsoons because we've been having monsoons all week, but honestly the monsoons are awesome if you've never experienced them. They're not like your typical thunderstorm. They only come in for like a couple hours at most, but usually they come in like an hour or less, thunder and rain a lot, and then goes away in clear skies. So we've been getting that a lot the past week, so we will see this weekend how that goes. But either way, it'll be cool to experience whatever the weather is, but it's not looking like it's going to be super hot, which is nice. I haven't actually checked the official weather report, but you know, I was talking to a guy the other day that was like, Yeah, everything after basically 3 days. He had a friend that was a meteorologist, and he's like, any weather prediction after 3 days is basically just bullshit. They don't know really what they're talking about, and the weather's, you know, the butterfly effect. Every little thing in the atmosphere is so prone to change with all these disturbances. So who knows what we're going to get next weekend, but I have a feeling it's going to be good because the universe has our back. So we've got, yeah, so for those 2-hour break, we'll be hanging out with the vendors. People can mingle. They can, you know, if you want to bring some like musical instruments, some drums or guitars or whatever to jam on, that's totally cool. I suggest it. And then for the dance party too, you can bring that stuff and we can like jam during the tribal dance party. And then the food and the vending space, like I said, will be connected. The meals will be there. It's all going to be super local, super nice, and it's going to be chill. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. Those meal tickets are going to be available probably by the end of today, I would say. So just check back on the Family of Light website, familyoflight.info. Again, description below. And those meal passes should be up there. Oh, it looks like they're ready. Alexa says they're up. They're ready. So if you want to go secure your meal pass now, you can do that. And again, it's going to be, looks like tacos taquitos on Saturday and curry on Sunday, all vegan, all fresh, organic. Going to be good stuff. Does mooning the moon count, Fearless? What are you talking about? Yeah, I guess I'm growing my goatee back, huh? Yeah, I shaved it off and I just looked too unrecognizable, so I'm letting it come back in. Oh, there's a hummingbird. Wow, he flew like 2 feet away from my face and just looked at me. Angelito, what kind of food trucks are we talking about? So they're not food trucks. It's my friend Mario is basically a caterer, and he's going to come in with all local ingredients here in Sedona and make us these meals in the local commercial kitchen. So you don't have to go to a food truck. You don't have to. That was the original plan, to bring in food trucks, but it didn't quite work out. And then this worked out to be better anyway because it's going to be cheaper than food trucks for the meal plans, and it's just going to be better. It's more local. It's more centralized, and it's gonna be dank food. I kid you not. His salsa is, whoo, amazing. Literally, I just eat it straight out of the jar. Starseed salsa. You can find him on Instagram, Starseed Salsa, I believe. Thanks, Schumann. You like the shave look. I appreciate it. Cheshire says, amazing monsoons, high energy. Yeah. And it's been giving us the needed humidity because it's been so dry. Obviously, it's Arizona. Things are pretty dry. But when the monsoons come in, it's like, kind of makes me feel like I'm somewhere tropical for a little bit. Like right now, it's actually moist and my skin feels good and it's a nice like recharger. So it'll be cool if we experience at least one monsoon when the gathering is happening. So let's see what else before we jump into the crypto stuff. You guys have any other questions about Family of Light gathering? Again, live stream passes still going strong. There are a few 3-day passes left if you are able to come in person, but you know, we are kind of getting close to the line, so the live stream passes I think are what are more accessible to people right now. So 10% off on those. $99, 3 days, 8 hours plus a day. So yeah, good stuff. Let's jump into some of our stories. Oh, Fearless, hold on, I'll answer your question. What's an organic alternative to bacon? Organic bacon? I did just buy some organic bacon yesterday, so, and when I bought it, the guy at the counter was like, this is some good bacon. And it's funny because I haven't eaten bacon in a long time. Like I was vegan for a couple years, and then even when I started eating meat again for my body, because my body just kind of needed it personally, my DNA needed it, I still wasn't eating bacon because I've always gotten this weird vibe about bacon and pigs being like an Atlantean experiment that's too close to being human. I feel like pigs were, you know, we share so much genetic with pigs. It makes sense to me that it was some kind of human chimera experiment back during the Atlantean times that kind of stuck around now, and that's why all these cultures don't like eating pig. I think, like, you know, they officially they relate it to cleanliness or whatever, but I think it goes back further than that, and it's more of a religious thing with consuming something that is related to human DNA in a way. But that said, for some reason, Alexis and I kept getting the vibe from Spirit to eat bacon, and the only thing I could think of was that it was like, if what I'm saying is true, then maybe because we are human and have human DNA, maybe there's certain things that can only be repaired by consuming something like pig, because obviously we're not cannibals, we're not going to eat people, and I don't think that's right in any context. But something like pig, maybe there actually is a beneficial factor to getting a little bit of whatever kind of human similar DNA is in there. I don't know, but all I know is that Spirit was kind of guiding me to eat it again, and I've been having some organic bacon lately, and it's honestly been doing my body really good. So, but maybe if you mean vegan alternative to bacon, I don't know, do they even make that? Coconut bacon. Teriyaki baked coconut. Interesting. I wonder if that's good. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, the whole pig human thing too. I mean, it goes back to this like human hybrid thing we've been talking about lately with this show Sweet Tooth, and how they're kind of putting out this this show on Netflix called Sweet Tooth, and they're putting out a lot of this disclosure around not only human hybrids, but around the I don't even know what word to use for it. The big event that happened in 2020. That isn't a trigger word. They brain fart. Where's I going with that? I don't remember why I brought that up. Turkey bacon, Atlantis. Oh yeah, the human hybrid programs and Netflix. So they have all this disclosure about all this different stuff, and one of the big things is like human hybrids and also star seeds, and the concept of star seeds being a sort of human hybrid or a new type of human in a way, and but also the kind of more concrete example of human experimentation hybrids coming from like laboratories and scientists, and that going back to ancient Atlantis and that kind of stuff. So that's all kind of coming up in the collective consciousness again, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the next year or couple of years we see actual disclosure about human hybrid or cloning programs, or both, and maybe more. I think the cloning disclosure is definitely coming, and the chimera, like if they dropped the chimera kind of human hybrid truth bomb first, it would almost make the cloning thing seem kind of obvious, right? So if they wanted to disclose cloning, they could disclose human hybrid programs, and then it kind of infers that cloning is probably also happening without them having to actually say it. But I hope that we do get actual disclosure of this stuff in a public sense. Yeah, vegan bacon exists, but it's not pig. Yeah, obviously, yeah. That's why they're saying coconut. It's good, but it's not bacon, says Cheshire. Vegan bacon's called fakin', says Wild. Let's not do that part of Atlantis again, says Fearless. Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of themes that are coming up again, though. It's like, you know, one of my friends, Z, I remember brought up a couple years ago that she was kind of feeling like a lot of the prominent scientists, and also a lot of the prominent new age scientists, for lack of better words. I'm not going to say any names, but people in the new age kind of community that are scientists in a way, and making technologies that are, you know, maybe questionable to some as far as their legitimacy, but they might be legit as well. But either way, that a lot of these scientists were actually the reincarnations of scientists who had experimented on this kind of stuff during the Atlantean catastrophe, and that a lot of them were coming back to try to rewrite their wrongs, their karmic wrongs of the Atlantean catastrophe, which makes a lot of sense to me. And I think a lot of us here too were alive during that time period, have had lives during that time period, and remember these catastrophes, remember these devastations, and we kind of know we're seeing similar things happen, and we know what to expect in a way, but we're also kind of like the guardians of the timeline, you know, and making sure that these events that took place don't happen again, and that the lives lost don't happen, and the you know, the ethical and moral atrocities when it comes to playing God and genetic manipulation, intentional mutations, things like that. I think that those of us that remember that are quite literally guardians of the timeline to help prevent that from happening again. Teresa says Kid Cudi's a Jimi Hendrix clone. Oh shit. Man, ever since I saw Cudi wearing that dress at, what was it? Is it the Grammys or something? You know that he's a part of those groups now, but maybe that's not even a him. Maybe, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe he is a straight up clone, or maybe there was a real Kid Cudi, and then the Kid Cudi now is a clone. But it would make more sense that he was a Cudi clone and not a Hendrix clone, but I could see the resemblance, maybe. I definitely think there's a lot of that kind of shenanigans going on in that industry. Amy says they did it with monkeys last year when they said it was disclosed. They said destroyed, but it was to go through all the trouble just to destroy it. Yeah, I was hearing various stories coming out of China about monkey-human hybrids. They say, they're saying officially that they've created embryos, I think, but not that they've grown the embryos. So, of course, that's the logical next step for them. And of course, they've already done that, but they're only telling us they've made the chimera embryo, and now we're waiting for them to tell us that they've actually grown one somewhere. And then, you know, what's going to happen to all these beings, too, is another question. Like, legit, where are all these beings that are victims of these programs? Say, you know, it goes back to the show Sweet Tooth, too, and they kind of play on this. Like, if all these, basically, all these kids who were these hybrids, these mutations, whether natural or unnatural, you'll have to watch the show to find out in the show, no spoilers, but, you know, in real life, whether they're natural or unnatural, what are we going to do with all these kids? Like, you know, in the show, it's the rogue military, black military group that wants to exterminate them all because they think they're abominations. So it's really weird ethics that they lay forward in that show. And there's a lot of legit questions because, you know, we consider these programs ethical and immoral. But if we have all these beings, like hundreds or thousands or potentially even hundreds of thousands, maybe, I don't know, of these kind of beings out there that exist, that are hybrids, that are maybe fully alive and conscious, we're gonna have to, like, probably integrate them into society in some way or something. Like, I don't think the light workers out there are gonna vote for any kind of mass extermination, because that would be horrible, right? Even if these are you know, genetically created beings, there's still life, there's still organic life in a sense that they, you know, I'm assuming they have souls and spirits, but that would be a whole nother thing I guess we would have to discover and get into as a collective. But it's a really trippy scenario to think about. Like, if we're gonna have to have like rehabilitation centers for beings like this to kind of acclimate them into a normal society, or if they're kind of just gonna not make it because maybe they need life support, or I don't know. I mean, when the truth comes out, I guess we'll have to make decisions as a collective. You, Fearless, you have a pic of a pig monkey? I think I might have seen one of those. We are one. How far you think XRP is going down? Well, we can get into that. One of the things that I put in the thumbnail, obviously, was that it went to a low of 589, which I've been seeing everywhere lately, synchronistically. So if you're not familiar with this whole side of XRP 589, the synchronicity of that, basically 589 is kind of like XRP 17, right? So it's a number that keeps coming up synchronistically connected with this over and over and over. And as opposed to with, say, the actual 17, where it was the 17th letter of the alphabet, you know, I don't have to explain that. With XRP, 589 was something put out there by the Ripple Riddlers early on, over and over. I think originally by Bearable Guy, and then Mr. Poole had posted it, and I'm pretty sure Arcolect and the Ripple Riddler, and then it was 589, 589. And then people started seeing 589 popping up in places that were not related to crypto. Like they were popping up on submarines and news articles. Like someone sent me this, like a documentary they were watching on Netflix about submarines, and it was a picture of the submarine and it said 589 on it. And even Elon had posted a 589 thing, I think, recently. I'm pretty sure, oh no, I'm sorry, not Elon, it was NASA had posted a 589 thing, one of the NASA divisions. So I think that the 589 is some kind of code for not necessarily price, but it's some kind of secret society symbolism that they are relating on. Kind of like we've talked about the samurai symbolism being a thing. And so it's like the samurai symbolism for these white hat groups, 589. There's something more to it that I know we're going to discover as we move forward, but just to lay the kind of groundwork for you guys that maybe haven't heard of that. I know a lot of you are very familiar with what 589 is, so apologies for the redundant explanation. But for those who haven't heard, and then I've been seeing 589 just synchronistically like the past couple days, so I'm like, okay, is Spirit trying to give me the hint that we're actually getting close to something happening here? And then just to tie that in with the other part of what's in the title is that Flare is set to make a big announcement this week regarding the Flare network going live in the distribution. So it's they made an announcement about an announcement. So basically a couple days ago in an Ask Me Anything on Reddit, Hugo Filion, who's the co-founder and CEO of the Flare Foundation, hold on real quick, I gotta check my time. Okay, cool. I got to go before an hour on this one, but I got about 20 more minutes. So he was doing an Ask Me Anything and basically announced that within the next week, this was a couple days ago, so this could be any day now, within the next week they would be making an announcement regarding the distribution of Spark and Flare and the launch of the Flare network. And so this could be, for all we know, this could be the actual launch, but I know a lot of people are speculating more so that it's going to be an extension of the launch date, which is very possible. We don't know, but like we've talked about before, like this whole Flare launch thing has been very peculiarly timed. Very strange timing. Like, you know, we were supposed to get it basically a couple months ago, and then it's been pushed and pushed. It was late June, and then late June, early July. Now we're getting the end of July, and it's from the beginning I felt like they were waiting for the switch to flip. They were waiting for regulatory clarity. They were waiting for something. So we're getting this whole scenario now where the Senate, you know, Elizabeth Warren has called for Gary Gensler at the SEC to create, you know, from what seems like full regulation around cryptocurrencies by the 28th of this month. So if that actually happens, if we actually get regulation, then all this other stuff could be domino effect like crazy, and we could just start seeing things fly. Like, I would say it's probably not going to work out this way because I'm imagining it, and typically what we imagine when we expect certain timelines to happen doesn't happen that way. But if I were to guess or imagine the best case scenario, I would say best case scenario would be sometime before the 28th. I would say sometime this week, actually, so we can celebrate during the Family of Light gathering, which is something that I have been feeling might be, you know, divinely timed too. The fact that we're planning this big party, and from the beginning I've been feeling like I kept calling it the Ascension Party. Like before we came up with the Family of Light name, I was just like, this is the Ascension Party. Like, we're going to be celebrating something huge. So, you know, best case scenario, maybe sometime this week we get regulatory clarity from the whole Senate thing. Then we get XRP clarity, then Flare goes live, XRP's mooning as Flare goes live, and we're just like, So happy. But, you know, expectations are the root of all failures, as my dad would always tell me. And so at the same time, I don't want to expect that's going to happen. And so I don't have expectations on this whole thing. I think at some point we're going to see the seeds that we've planted grow to fruition. When that happens and exactly how that happens, we don't know. We can only guess. And we can have expectations, but like I said, usually they don't lead to a great outcome as far as, you know, we get upset that our expectations were not fulfilled in the way that we had hoped them to. So that's kind of like the theme with a lot of this stuff with date predictions, whether it's 17 or XRP stuff or disclosure stuff. Like a big theme in the collective has been releasing expectations. And it's an interesting concept, you know, because some might argue that it's not expectations, but it's like a creating of the timeline, right? Like we XR that's funny, wild. Good to see you, Matthew, by the way. Who else is in here? Sage, Jaff, what's up, everyone? They deleted your comment. So I'm falling behind on the comments, but let me finish this thought real quick. Brain fart. Expectations and timelines. So I know I've meditated on this concept a lot, like the balance between the masculine and creating the timeline you want versus the feminine and receiving the complete divine timeline that you could have never even imagined, because, you know, we're only a fractal of God and we're not all of God. So there's magic out there that can happen without our logical understanding. But at the same time, there is a sense of like, you know, the masculine energy does exist, and the masculine is the expansive creation energy of creating and manifesting what you want to see in the world. Now, I think that there's distortions probably to each of these, and that there's, you know, like with everything is balanced, and that personally, this is what I found, that there's a balance between the masculine creating, doing, you know, creating the timeline, creating exactly what you want, knowing I want this thing and I want it this way and I'm going to make that happen. That's the masculine. And then a balance between that and the feminine of, I have no idea how this is going to happen, but I have complete and utter trust that it's going to work out for the best. And it can be hard to reconcile those two. At least personally, I know I've battled with that a lot. Like, am I supposed to be feminine? Am I supposed to just receive here? Am I supposed to create what I want and like just do it and generate? And kind of comes down to this concept of like, in human design, like the manifesting generators and the manifestors and that kind of stuff too is what it makes me think of. And maybe just because I'm a manifesting generator, I find the balance of the manifesting and the generating. But maybe for someone that's a generator, they find that the masculine do create works way better for them than the receiving. And maybe for a manifestor, they find just the receiving works, but not the masculine. And then man gens are both. I don't know. Tell me your guys' experiences, but it's something I've thought about a lot, that balance. Greg, you wish you were going? Come join the live stream, Greg, if you haven't already got one. They're 10% off right now, familyoflight.info, and you can at least join in on all the vibes and hang out in the live stream chat with everyone and get to see what's going on at the event. And there will be playback for that as well. What is the flare announcement? It's basically, they just said that they would be announcing an announcement sometime in the next couple days regarding the Flare network distribution. So we don't know. It could be an extension of the distribution, or it could be them saying, you know, in 3 days we're gonna go live or something like that. We really don't know. But today is the 17th of the month, so I kind of feel like something's gonna happen today. It seems that on the 17th, interesting things always happen. Woke, you're a generator according to your chart. Yeah, you say, if you believe in that. Yeah, I take everything with a grain of salt, whether it's astrology, human design, I probably give astrology more weight than human design, but I have worked with a lot of people who are really experienced with human design and have made it make a lot of sense to me. But when I just kind of look at the charts and try to understand it myself, it doesn't totally make a lot of sense to me. Like, I don't understand. If you're not familiar with human design, it's basically an extension of, it's a system that was created as an extension of the natal chart that is similar to astrology and being able, oh my gosh, right now we have 3113. Third one watching, 13 likes, at least from what I can see. That's one of the numbers that's been popping up a lot lately, 1s and 3s. Anyway, with human design, you basically, if you want to try this yourself, look up Jovian Archive Human Design free chart on the internet. And you just enter your birth information like you would a astrological chart, and they break it down into a couple main designs, which are like the ones I talked about: manifestor, generator, manifesting generator as its own thing, projectors, and reflectors. I think that's all of them. And manifestors and manifesting generators and man-gens are the most common, it seems. Alexis and I are both man-gens, and a lot of couples I've noticed happen to be man-gens. And it resonates with me the way that people have explained it, but like I said, I haven't been able to get it to click just by looking into it myself, and I find it interesting, but I usually wait until someone like approaches me with a bunch of information about it before I like really dive into it. Same kind of thing with astrology, but I'm a little more into seeking out my own astrological information. By the way, guys, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, click that notification bell, all the YouTuber things. But actually it does help, because I never say that stuff, and I'm realizing it actually does help, especially since this channel is so heavily shadow suppressed. Oh, someone asked me way back, I'm sorry, I saw this come up twice. I don't know if it was, I don't remember who asked it. Oh, Teresa. Who started XRP? Great question. Let's talk about that for a second. XRP, the misconception is that XRP was created by Ripple, the company, right? So if you ever talk to anyone who's like super pro Bitcoin or super pro crypto that's anti XRP, it's usually because they think Ripple created XRP and it's centralized and all this stuff. And what you can explain to them is that XRP as a technology was created before it had any association with Ripple. So XRP was created partially by David Schwartz. I would say mainly by David Schwartz. It's David Schwartz and Jed McCaleb, I'm pretty sure. Is it Jed or Larson? I get them confused. I forget if Jed McCaleb helped create Ripple or if he helped create XRP. But David Schwartz for sure seems to be the main architect behind the XRP ledger. And David Schwartz is the guy that I lovingly call a space Sasquatch. And he was the former NSA agent who, in the 90s, created a patent for a type of distributed ledger technology way before cryptocurrency was ever an official idea, right? So this was, Bitcoin didn't come out until, 2010? This was in 1991 or something that this patent was put out, and it basically just depicts a kind of cloud-based server network, but a distributed ledger where finances and information and value could be verified and validated and flow through a network that was distributed. And this is basically the foundations for blockchain and cryptocurrency. And so this is partially why myself and others think that it's possible that either one, Bitcoin was created by David Schwartz as well, or by other people in the NSA, and it was like a trial run, right? Like put the tech out there, and this is also like 12D chess, so there could be way more depth to the reasoning behind them doing these things. But I could see it as having been created by white hats initially, and then with the intention of coming out with the more advanced technology later, which would be XRP and the the countless other coins connected to the ISO 2022 and the Interledger network, and all the financial kind of institutional financial coins that are coming out now, and decentralized DeFi projects and things like that. Alternatively, it's possible that Bitcoin was created by a dark group like the CIA, or by like Epstein, or by Mossad or something like that, and that this technology was created first by the white hats like David at the NSA, because as we know from 17, the NSA was actually a positive group taking on the CIA. Like that 17 and first, that's why the NSA was created, was to basically take on the CIA and create oversight over them. And so, yeah, it's possible with that whole situation, a number of things when it comes to crypto. But XRP was created by David Schwartz and some other people before they had any connection to Ripple. And this is while Ripple was still called OpenCoin. They were unrelated, OpenCoin and XRP. Peter Thiel at this time was funding OpenCoin, before it became Ripple. And then eventually Ripple and XRP basically, I don't want to say merged, because one's a technology and one's a company, but Ripple essentially became the manager for the majority of XRP out there, because David, I assume, saw the value in what Ripple was doing, and this was all probably pre-planned too, so yeah. How do you find out what you are, Angelito? I assume you mean human design. Go to, just look up Jovian, Jovian, Jovian Archive, free chart, and you'll find it. Are they? Yes, they are, says, gotta ask, what's new with Antarctica? That's a good question. I haven't heard much about Antarctica lately, actually. Let me check the time real quick. I gotta start wrapping up here, you guys. But with Antarctica, I feel like there's a lot going to come. Obviously, a lot has been hidden there. There's pyramids, there's ET beings, there's technologies. The new Godzilla v. Kong movie was actually really good and depicted the military bases in Antarctica and how they go to the central, the inner hollow earth kind of area, and like how all that's connected. So I think we're going to start seeing more and more disclosures to this, and could be in the form of a distraction, or it could be in the form of genuine disclosure. But either way, the truth is like a lion, right? What do they say? The truth is like a lion. It doesn't need to be set free. It is free. I don't know. I'm butchering that phrase. The truth is like a lion. Somebody complete that sentence for me, please. Joyful says, hey, do you think the V could possibly be the first step towards transhumanism agenda? I think that is definitely what they wanted. I think that if the dark had their total control over what was going to go on, that's probably exactly what they wanted. However, I feel that there has been co-opted energies, either on behalf of humans, good humans, light-working humans in the military and related areas, trying to avoid the trigger words, or a divine co-opted timeline where, just by the grace of God and the universe, that this timeline has been co-opted for the good. But I feel like that the V is not going to lead to us being a transhumanism society. I'm not saying anyone should get it, but definitely don't get it. But I don't feel a need to fear as far as the direction of the planet. Like, there's so many variables at this point, but if I had to guess, I would think that this is going to inadvertently show people the mistake that they made, but that people are going to be given a second chance. So I would guess that people are going to potentially get, sick from this thing, and that then at some point there will be like an antidote or a cure provided, hopefully by the positive groups, where that's where the disclosure comes out, where it's like, look, we finally have evidence now that this was the agenda, this is what they were doing, but we do have this basically antidote for people who have taken it to help cure themselves. But at the same time, that could be from the dark too, right? The dark could easily do that and be like, here's another injection to take because this one messed you up, so here's another one. So I don't know on that end of things, but I don't have any fear that we're going down that transhumanism timeline. I think that, of course, those influencers are still there, but, you know, as we've kind of said before, the head of the beast has been severed. The head of the octopus or the dragon or whatever you want to call it, the head of the serpent, energetically, whatever resonates, the head of the darkness on the planet has been removed, and now there's just a bunch of little lower hierarchy dark figures running around trying to establish a new hierarchy, and they still want, you know, the same thing they always wanted, but they don't have the power and structure and abilities that they used to have. And so that's where I think that, you know, they could still try to push the timeline that they wanted to do with this whole V thing and everything, but that it's not going to work out for them, and it's going to work out in best case scenario for the awakening of the planet, at least for those that are, you know, choosing to go through this process. I think at the same time, this Magenta Pixies talked about this, and I think Allison Coe as well, that this V is a subconscious choice for people in a way to go through this shift or not. And if they're not prepared for this quantum shift that we're about to, you know, really step into, that we're already stepping into, it's already happening, it's happening right now, every day, every second, but we're moving further into this window, it seems. I think it's a subconscious choice for people to not participate on that timeline. Like if, you know, they're in a point of their they're basically still asleep, and their higher selves in a way maybe guide them to get this thing as a way to exit the planet in a peaceful way, so that they don't have to go through this shift and potentially traumatize themselves because they're not ready for it. So I think that's kind of what I'm resonating with at the moment. Liberty, to find out about your human design, go to the Jovian Archive, Jovian Archive. Just type it in your search, and it should come up. And you can look up free chart, but it'll take you to the free chart on their website too. So you're a projector, Cheshire. That's awesome. I have only known a small handful of projectors. It seems like projectors are good at like being leaders and kind of, how do I say it, like I want to say like delegating tasks, but maybe that's not the best way. But like when I've seen projectors are good, they're good leaders, and they're good at knowing what people are good at and seeing the best in people and what they, you know, what they can be. I don't want to say what they can be used for, but like what they could do that would be in their best, like their highest alignment, maybe is the best way to say it. I'm still learning all this stuff, but the people that I've known that have been projectors have been very powerful, strong people that know how to like basically tell people what to do, but in like a good way. Mowgli says he just saw an Instagram where a guy is allegedly living in Antarctica and there are no pyramids or aliens. What, like he's like, yeah, this is my ice, this is my little snowplow right here. No pyramids, no aliens, nothing to see here. Don't look over there. Antarctica is so big. Oh, Sarah, you're a manifesting generator, just like me. That's awesome. Angelito, you're a manifester. Dope. Yeah, it's a cool system. If you haven't heard about it, it's very interesting, and there's so much you can dive into with like the channels, and like you can be like open or closed in certain channels when you look at the chart of your body. And then there's like the cross thing. It's like the right angle cross of whatever, or the left angle cross of like consciousness or I don't know. There's like so many different, there's a lot of different intricacies with the human design. Mowgli or generator, nice. Cheshire says projectors have to wait to be invited. Ah, okay, maybe I'm confusing projectors with manifestors then, with the kind of knowing what people are good at. All right, what time is it, guys? All right, you guys, I gotta bounce. Great hanging out with you all. I have to go because Alexis is about to do a presentation for a live event on the internet, and I gotta let her set up. So thank you all for sharing this space with me. I hope to see you next week at the Family of Light gathering here in Sedona. Get your passes if you haven't already, if you're still able to make it out to Sedona. Everything is on 10% discount on the website. Live stream passes are 10% discount if you can't make it out in person. I definitely recommend getting a live stream pass. 3 days, 8+ hours a day, and Saturday, Sunday will be 8+ hours. Friday's a little bit shorter, but comes out to an average of 8 hours a day. And you'll have replay for that, and it's gonna be dope. And I'm just so excited to share the space with you all. So thank you so much. Aloha and much love, and I'll see you guys next weekend at Family of Light. I probably won't be doing a live stream if you are trying to find this live stream, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll be able to do a quick live from the event. But yeah, I'll see you guys there. Peace out.